Hello and welcome to another edition of TV Enthusiast Weekly Videocast Marvel versus DC versus TVE. I'm your host, Will Rohrig, the master of comics. Joining me today is Tyson Gifford, the editor-in-chief of TV Enthusiast.
Hello, hello, hello.
Yes. And this week we are going to discuss the latest episodes of The Flash, Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow, and the first half of the Agent Carter two-parter that ABC aired this week, which was a double whammy, but I'm not caught up.
So we're just going to talk about 3 episodes, and then next week we'll talk about 5?
I guess. We'll just go back and talk about all of them at once.
The Carter cast.
The Carter cast, yeah. But let's start off with The Flash. This was the second part to last week's episode, because last week we left off with Zoom capturing Barry and putting Barry in his creepy hideout with Wells' daughter and some weird guy with a mask.
Which seems very much like an allusion to the Man in the Iron Mask.
Yeah, I think so. Like, very much an allusion to the Man in the Iron Mask. So basically we pick up there. Wells and Cisco pretty much figure out Barry's been captured, and they set about to save him and also save Wells' daughter. Of course, they're going up against Zoom. It's not quite an even match. To do this, they get Earth 2 Barry. They enlist the help of Earth 2 Barry and Earth 2 Iris.
Earth 2 Barry basically being the Felicity Smoke of Earth 2.
Yeah, pretty much.
He does the magic fingers hacking.
Yeah, he does the magic fingers hacking. It's like, ew, I can hack into Zoom's layer. And also they enlist the help of a person you wouldn't expect. They actually get Killer Frost to help them. They basically, it's straightforward. Most of the episode is just Barry, like Earth 2 Barry and
Wells' daughter.
And Wells' daughter. And what they do is, and also convincing Killer Frost to help them. But once they convince Killer Frost, they go up into Zoom's lair. They save Barry. Barry actually manages to speed phase his way out of the cell. And then Killer Frost actually holds off Zoom while they escape.
Well, initially she betrayed them, it was a trap.
Yeah, it was a trap. Yeah, she betrayed them. Although, did she, or was she playing at that?
It seemed to me like she did betray them and then had a change of heart. That's right. What it seemed like to me. Because the way she was acting really kind of emotional when she started attacking Zoom, it just suddenly, she just suddenly was like, no, I can't just let this slide. I have to handle Zoom. But that's just for me, at least.
Right. But basically, yeah, so they saved them. There's another storyline going on this episode with Jay Garrick and Geomancer, because now that everybody's in Earth 2, this Geomancer guy shows up. He decides to be a douche. And Jay Garrick, actually, what happens is Caitlin develops a formula for Jay Garrick because he doesn't have his speed. And they need a speedster to stop this guy. So Caitlin develops a formula, Velocity 9.
Just 2 steps better than Velocity 7. Then.
Yeah, which is 2 steps better than Velocity 7, 3 steps better than Velocity 6.
Not quite as good as Velocity 10.
Right. Velocity 8 was bad. They had to patch that with Velocity 8.1.
FDA does not approve of Velocity 8, yeah.
Yeah.
The FDA particularly objected to the icon menus on the desktop. They had to get rid of that with 8.1.
So basically, she develops this Velocity 9, and Jay Garrick fights. Jay Garrick goes out there, and he basically saves a bunch of people from like a building that Geomancer had caused to collapse. The Velocity 9 wears off, and Jay Garrick gets super tired. And so
he's like, I gotta take a nap.
He's like, I gotta take a nap.
He's like, I'm out, guys. I'm gonna take a nap.
I'm done. I'm done with this stuff. And so he goes to take a nap, and while he's taking a nap, Geomancer attacks Star Labs. And I'm thinking like Jay's gonna come, and no, he sleeps through it. Even though like he's basically smashing up Star Labs and causing like earthquakes inside the building that Jay's supposedly sleeping with, and he is like so pooped out from the Velocity 9.
Jay Garrick comes from California, so he just sleeps through earthquakes. He's just like, it doesn't bother him.
It actually soothes him even more. It's like, oh yeah,
rocks him to sleep.
So basically, this leaves it for Caitlin and Iris to defeat him. This guy is so pathetic. He got beaten by two people without superpowers who are not combat trained in any way.
Who he took by surprise.
Yeah, who he takes by surprise. I mean, Geomancer, God, you suck. As a supervillain, you're go home. You're drunk. And then after he's beaten, Jay Garrick like pops up. He's like, "Hey guys, that was some nap, huh?"
He's like, what was all that commotion?
It was all that commotion.
Those are really harsh in my buzz.
What I liked about this episode, again, Zoom was terrifying as always. Like,
yeah, just kick Barry's ass again.
Yeah, he kicked Barry's ass again. He has such a presence. It's unreal. It's like, I'm really loving Zoom as the villain, but we don't see a lot of him.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess the big stinger at the end was they escaped from Earth 2. They closed the final breach, but not before Zoom apparently shoves his fist right through Jay Garrick's chest, because Jay Garrick just happened to be standing in front of the breach conveniently.
Yeah. And then got yanked through the breach.
Yep. And then he got yanked through the breach, so we don't know if he's dead or what's going on with that.
And they're going to completely skip over it next week as we get a one-off Killer Croc special. Not Killer Croc, King Shark special.
Well, we don't know. We don't know because they might like revisit Earth 2. Like, there's apparently now since they closed a lot of breaches, there's no way for Barry and crew to get back to Earth 2. I know.
They'll Deus Ex Machina their way there.
But I know, like, the executive producer, Andrew Kreisberg, said, just because all the breaches are closed doesn't mean we're done with Earth 2. And he said, you'll still see Earth 2. And so...
yeah. They'll Deus Ex Machina their way there.
Yeah, I know, right?
But
overall, I thought this was a pretty good episode.
We didn't talk about... We skipped right over the man in the iron mask.
Oh, that's right. How could I forget him? Okay, so yeah, so there is a man in the iron mask in Zoom's possession, and you're wondering, okay, what's the deal with this guy? Like, it's this huge mystery. First of all, why does he have a mask? Like, ask yourself that. He's in Zoom's creepy ass lair in Earth 2. Like, I'm sure nobody's gonna walk down there and be like, "Oh shit, I recognize you." So it's like, Why does he have a mask? Now, if we go back to the novel The Man in the Iron Mask, we know that he was wearing a mask because he was the rightful king or something.
Yeah, well, it was like a doppelganger.
He was like a doppelganger, right?
Yeah.
And so he had a mask on, so nobody could figure that out. But this guy, there must be a similar reason then. He must be a doppelganger of somebody, right? So who is that? Well, it's interesting because he's tapping out a message to Barry Allen and Will's daughter, and then so they get the idea to try and decode what he's saying, and they figure out that he's tapping J, not the letter J. It's part of it is the letter J. So, but not just that, but he spells out Jay. Jay's Garrick's first name. And, Barry interprets that to mean, oh, yeah, no, Jay's still alive. He's coming. Don't worry. And he gets so frustrated at that point. He's like, no, you don't. It's not what I'm trying to get at. There's speculation that this might actually be Jay Garrick. And that the Jay Garrick we've been following is not Jay Garrick at all.
But some kind of a doppelganger.
But some kind of a doppelganger or something. It also fits because, like, Jay Garrick's Earth 1 counterpart is Hunter Zolomon. And so far, like, nobody's different Earth counterpart has had a different name. Mm-hmm. Like they even bring it up in that episode. It's like, oh, Hunter Zolomon, that's weird. Like, why is that a different name? Oh, he must have been adopted or something. And I'm like, but yeah, like Caitlin Snow is Caitlin Snow in Earth 2. Ronnie Raymond is Ronnie Raymond in Earth 2. Iris West is Iris West. So
and
why?
Barry Allen is Barryana Allen.
So why is Jay Garrick Hunter Zolomon? Yeah. So that doesn't quite add up either.
He gets adopted by what's clearly evil parents if they have the last name Zolomon.
And here's the thing. There's speculation going around that this guy is actually the rival, which was Jay Garrick's Reverse Flash. Because Jay Garrick got his speed through a science experiment in the comic books. And in this show, when we meet Jay Garrick, he claims he got his speed by being struck by lightning in the accelerator accident, which apparently also happened on Earth 2 because of Wells from Earth 2. Mm-hmm. That's also the explanation why metas exist on Earth 2. So they share that. So, but that's basically Jay Garrick's explanation, and then Jay Garrick explains, well, he lost his speed. And so he has to take these formulas. He takes these formulas, like in this episode, he takes velocity 9 to temporarily regain his speed. Well, it's interesting because in the comics, the rival gets his speed from a formula named velocity 9. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know the producers know this. They cannot be overlooking this. They has to be a hint towards something.
Well, there's either two things going on. One is that they're just kind of restructuring things to suit their own story needs, which would be kind of the way they're playing it off. Whether if they are not doing something, then that's just what it is. If they are doing something, then they're purposely leading us to believe that they're not doing anything. Yeah, they're just playing around with some of the terms and stuff because they can't keep it exactly like the comics.
So the rival uses velocity 9, but there's another hint because when they show Earth 1 Jay Garrick, his name is Hunter Zolomon. Hunter Zolomon is the name of another Reverse Flash or another evil Flash. So I mean, these are very strong hints. Mm-hmm. I think it's kind of like they're strongly hinting that if you read if you know the references, and they're kind of like, this isn't Jay Garrick, he is evil. Hint, hint, wink, wink. We are winking so hard our eyes are falling out.
At least it's a little bit more subtle than what they did with Wells in season 1.
Yeah, yeah, right, exactly.
Where we were thinking maybe he isn't the Reverse Flash just because it was too obvious.
That's why I was thinking, yeah, just because it was too. I was like, no, Wells is obvious, but it also made the most sense too.
Yeah.
But with this season, it's kind of cool because we don't know who or even what Zoom is. And there's still a lot of speculation that there's still no good answers as to the identity of Zoom. Just that Zoom is actually William, Oliver's son.
I knew he was a 6-year-old.
Right? Well, he does live in Central City.
And those temper tantrums he threw?
Yeah.
Total giveaway.
Total giveaway. So that's still anybody's guess. I can't wait for that reveal to happen. A lot of people are saying, well, what if Zoom is somebody you don't know yet? And I'm like, I don't know.
That'd be a little weak to keep it secret for so long. At that point, it's like, why not just show the face? And
right. Who? But yeah, that's cool. I guess. So that brings us to the end of the Flash. So now we can move on to Arrow, and talk about what happened in this week's episode of Arrow. First of all, I want to ask, what did you think of this week's episode of Flash?
Of the Flash, I really liked it. I think the more Zoom, the better.
The more Zoom, the better.
At least for now. Like I say that now, but then if he becomes too popular and they're like, well, let's do a whole Zoom episode, it would probably get ruined. Yeah, all the mystery and intrigue of it, and just make it boring. But as of right now, every episode that's had more Zoom in it has been better.
It has been better. Yeah.
He continues to be a really intimidating villain, which is nice. The kind of the intrigue of the man in the iron mask and the prison was really cool. And all the Earth 2 aspects, which were what was cool last week, again continue to be cool.
Yep, continue. I think they did Earth 2 really well in this. It's so easy to just be lazy and be like, this is Earth 1. This is all same sets with a sepia tone. Oh, look, Barry Allen has a mustache. That's evil Barry. But no, instead they did a really good job with it. They did a good job with the Earth 2 counterparts. I especially liked the last episode there, Reverb, the evil Cisco. He was like the best. Yeah, so definitely cool. But now we're going to talk about this week's episode of Arrow, where it was just an hour-long debate. It was. I thought that I thought this was bold, but I thought it's relevant to what's going on in our world today.
I thought it was interesting that they had the third candidate actually be Donald Trump.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. I'm surprised they got Donald Trump to do it.
Oh, yeah. Well, he'll appear on anything, I think.
Yeah.
As long as he can say huge.
Huge. The most luxurious episode of Arrow ever. No, well, okay, so that didn't happen. But, yeah, so Oliver is getting ready to debate his main rival, who suddenly showed up, which is Damien Dark's wife. And basically what she does is instead of debating Oliver on the issues, she decides to just blow him up.
Be the sympathetic survivor of
the sympathetic survivor. So basically what happens is they get this team together. Apparently, like there's this team within Hive called the Demolition Team, who are like experts at creating like explosions that look like accidents, or something of that nature. And what they're dispatched to do first is that they're actually dispatched to kill Captain Lance because Damien Dark now knows that he's working with Team Arrow and using his inside access to Damien Dark against him. I mean, and yeah, he was gonna figure that out eventually because Damien Dark's not stupid. But so basically, Damien Dark decides, well, it's time to kill him. That doesn't work because Lance takes his daughter Laurel with him, who also happens to be a Black Canary, and she saves him from the building before he gets killed. Basically, also another thing is like now, since last episode, Damien Dark has Malcolm Merlin on his side. So Malcolm Merlin is giving Damien Dark all this info about Oliver Queen and his son.
Malcolm Merlin now short one hand and one evil organization of assassins.
Yes. So he is very salty right now. So he is going to go after Damien Dark. Or he is going to join up with Damien Dark to go after Oliver. And so basically after Captain Lance is saved, the plan becomes to kill Oliver at the debate, leave Damien Dark's wife as the sympathetic survivor, so she takes control of Star City, and their evil plan continues forward. Except it doesn't, because Team Arrow after some work, Team Arrow dismantles the bombs and saves the day, and nobody gets blown up, and they actually have the debate, although we don't see it. We don't see even a second of it. It just cuts to like a news broadcast that says Oliver Queen won the debate.
Apparently, he just lifted up his shirt and flexed his rock hard abs. And they said, Oliver wins.
Oh, no. He brought out a salmon ladder, and he just...
Yeah. And then they said, your turn, and handed it to Damien Dark's wife, and she tried to do the salmon ladder and just fell off immediately.
Yeah.
Said, the winner is clear.
The winner is clear.
As is tradition, we cast our votes based on salmon ladder.
Salmon ladder skill. That's how they elect mayors in Star City. There's some drama there between Felicity's mother and Lance and Captain Lance. Captain Lance doesn't want her to get hurt, so he distances himself from her. This is really boring. Not gonna go into that. What else happens? Oh, Mr. Terrific develops a chip that will enable Felicity to walk again. So like her being paralyzed didn't even last that long.
They finally referenced him as Mr. Terrific.
Yeah, they finally, because Oliver says, "You're terrific." You know that? It's like, okay. What else happened this episode? This was a pretty standard episode.
Yeah, not too much else happened.
Yeah, not too much else happened. This was fairly straightforward. There wasn't like a lot of side plots or anything.
Yeah, well, there was the flashbacks on the island.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There was the flashbacks on the island. I actually can't remember too much of what happened with those.
That's Oliver killed the one guy that that he's had his anti-romance with.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Oliver killed that guy. There was like a fight. I think they were using a stunt guy, and it was like super obvious it wasn't the actor that was playing the guy. Like when they were fighting, it's like it never like really sticks out, except for this scene. It like really stuck out during the whole time, and I was like, oh, this is bad.
Yeah, and he did it in order to get the prisoners on his side.
Yep. The prisoners on his side.
Who are salty at him for killing the one girl's brother.
Salazar, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
That's that storyline. I don't think nothing much else happened.
Yeah, it's kind of a, I don't know. Wasn't really a great episode.
No, it wasn't. Despite having Damien Dark in it, but
I like Damien Dark. Damien Dark's wife is not really as interesting as Damien Dark is.
no,
Oh,
she's
one
not.
cool thing they did was they had like all the people from Hive, including now Malcolm Merlin, and they had one live via satellite talking to them.
Live and like
And the
Damien
guy
Dark
started
kills
bad
him.
mouthing Dark and his wife, and Dark was like, I see you're in this office. I remember it clearly. And then he basically like force kills him.
Yeah, he basically force kills him like long distance. This gives you an idea how powerful Damien Dark is.
I think it's going to end up, almost assuredly, end up tying into whatever's on this island.
Oh, you know what? You know what kills me? You know what kills me? This episode, right? It's like Felicity is talking to her mom, and Felicity is trying to like convince her to give Lance a second chance because Felicity's like, oh, well, sometimes people keep secrets for the right reasons. And they get into like this stupid knowing conversation about like freaking secrets, and she's like, oh, you're so lucky Oliver doesn't keep secrets from you, and then it's like, but he's keeping a pretty big secret from her. And it's
one
like
that she broke it off with him for in a future that was rewritten.
Yeah, it's like they're like just strongly not even hinting at this potential storyline. They're just beating you over the head with it now.
Yeah,
and then they're having this discussion about secrets, and then they bring up William again. Thea actually like pieces it together. And then Oliver's like, I should tell Felicity. And then Thea's like, no, don't tell her. That would dispel all drama in the show.
Secret's good. Secret's good.
Yeah, secret's good. Secret's good.
Every time this kind of like secrecy crap creeps into Arrow, I just hear in my head over and over again a song being played, and that song sounds like "Somebody Save Me." It gives you the worst flashbacks of Smallville.
And this is definitely there. And again, Thea's an idiot. It's like, oh no, keep it a secret. It's like with Wells and like Barry in the Flash, where Wells is like, no, don't tell Patty or the Flash reasons. I'm like, the only reason,
reasons.
reasons. The only reason is more artificial drama coming up. No, stop it. Stop it. I hate this.
Yeah, it's not necessary. I think that they feel this need that they have to create this tension like this and stuff, and it's like there are plenty of better sources of tension than this that they could be tapping into. And it's funny because oftentimes something that could be a really good source of tension is just like brushed over and brushed aside. And then they do this crap for like their tension. It's like, oh, you had the chance to do something real for tension, but
right. And it's at the point where I expect these characters to learn that secrets are bad. It's like how many times has this blown up in your face? Oh, but surely this secret will be, this won't blow up in my face. Not this time. And then we find out that Damien Dark has kidnapped Oliver's son, William, because we have a scene where he introduces William to his daughter and says he's going to stay with him.
He's a very conscientious kidnapper.
He is a very conscientious kidnapper. He really is. So
I'll kidnap your kid, but I'll give him a lovely play companion to my daughter.
Yeah, right?
Treat him very kindly. And
it won't be so bad. So that about wraps that up for Arrow. What do you think of this week's episode of Arrow?
Boring.
Boring. I agree. I concur. This was super boring.
I think Arrow, I'm still going to be watching Arrow, but I feel like it is more clear than ever now in Arrow's 4th season that I don't think we're ever going to get back to, Arrow season 2.
No, I think we're done. Yeah. I think we're done. There's
that
no
ship
hope.
has sailed.
That ship has sailed. They're just spinning their wheels now. So that brings us to Legends of Tomorrow.
Legends of Tomorrow.
Which is also another continuation off of a cliffhanger where they went to Russia to stop Vandal Savage from creating a Soviet firestorm, and
finally the episode actually felt kind of Russian.
Yeah, it did it?
They brought in the heavy Russian uniforms in the prison, and they brought in the Russian mafia and all the tattoos and the saunas and all the these Russian cliches and tropes and stuff. These heavy cliches and tropes and stronger references to the 80s and the kind of Cold War and stuff. It's like, yeah, you finally remembered that you're in a different time period. Thanks.
Right. You're not in 2016. So basically what happens was, this is the continuation. And so basically Captain Cole, well, the situation is Ray Palmer, Heatwave, and Martin Stein are all captured by the Soviets. They're behind enemy lines. Captain Cold goes in with White Canary to save them. Basically, Jax and Kendra are sidelined by Rip Hunter because he doesn't want anybody else getting hurt, and he feels those two are the most at risk. And
he doesn't want to deliver.
Yeah, he doesn't want to deliver Kendra straight to Vandal Savage.
Nor does he want to deliver both halves of
Firestorm.
Yeah, Firestorm. So he's kind of in the right. Everybody else is kind of freaking out over it, though.
Yeah, everybody else is kind of freaking out over it. And so basically, Captain Cold and White Canary go in there to save everybody, except White Canary has a separate set of orders. She's ordered, if it's not possible to save Martin Stein, she's been ordered by Rip Hunter to kill him.
And Captain Cold's there to moralize and tell her that killing is wrong.
Killing is wrong.
Captain Cold.
Yeah, I know, says Captain Cold. That means a lot comes from Captain Cold, a remorseless villain. Oh, I'm bad, but killing is wrong. Don't do that.
And then immediately he goes to save his friend and is like, no, don't carry that mostly unconscious Ray out with us. Let's just leave him there to die.
Let's leave him there to die, but killing is wrong.
Killing is wrong.
Don't do it, White Canary. Yeah, right. So basically what ends up happening is Jax and Kendra agree to let Rip Hunter let them go help save everybody. That Russian scientist she actually does manage to merge with Stein and become Soviet Firestorm for a brief period, until Jax actually convinces Stein to sever the connection, or somehow manages to get Stein to sever the connection, and then she melts down and she dies.
She goes nuclear.
And it blows up the prison.
Killing all the people that they were killing is wrong, and all the people in that prison are now dead.
Yeah.
Some of which are political prisoners and aren't actually bad people.
But they're all dead. They were all supposedly the worst of the worst. Nobody was political prisoner in there. That was never stated.
It's Russia, Cold War era. Plus, remember Ray Palmer was talking to that one old guy who seemed kind of helpful and friendly.
Yep.
And then was immediately being treated like crap by
Ray Palmer took a beating, and Heatwave just stood there and watched.
And then even that was too boring for him, so he just looked at a lighter instead.
Yeah. He's like, oh geez, I need fire. Heatwave is just like Beavis from Beavis.
Yeah. Fire.
Yeah, pretty much. Again, there's a lot of moral back and forth in this episode. Like there's Captain Cold moralizing about killing Stein with White Canary. There's Kendra and Jax arguing with Rip that they should be able to help, and that him holding them back is wrong. Um, yeah, I guess that's it. At the end, they the coolest part is at the end when they are chilling in the time slip, and then they're suddenly attacked by the bounty hunter Kronos, and they actually crash land in Star City in the future, like 2023 or something.
Smoke Industries.
Smoke Industries. Oh God. And who do they meet in the future but Green Arrow? But this isn't Oliver Queen. This is like some dude. Like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's 2046 or something. So.
Yeah, so it would be Oliver Queen anyway. I don't know, but it's weird because they operate with the assumption that it is Oliver when they
they just assume. Oh, it's 2046. You're clearly Oliver, still in great shape, and
I know, right? Wow, you haven't aged a day since.
Oliver's supposed to be what, like 30 or something?
Yeah.
So, 2046, he'd be 70.
Yeah.
That'd be 60. Yeah, 60.
60.
Still donning the green outfit, and
yeah, I thought it was weird. They just automatically assumed it was Oliver. It's like, oh, of course, time doesn't matter. But no,
Oliver's immortal, isn't he?
It's not Oliver. It's some guy. Don't know who this is. Not even Diggle. Maybe it's Diggle. Maybe it's Diggle and Lila's son.
Could be.
Yeah.
The age would work around right.
Yeah.
What I think is most exciting is, did you watch the preview for next week?
No.
Well, in the preview for next week, they hinted at Deathstroke. So I was like, I'm like, oh, bring Deathstroke back. And that could actually be the actual Deathstroke. It could be a side effect of the
Mirakuru.
Yeah, the Mirakuru.
Yeah,
but yeah, so I'm like,
that was the big what the F moment of the show. I think this could be the best episode of the series now, because now they're doing something fun with the time travel conceit.
Yeah.
Instead of just like, oh, here's the 80s, here's the 70s.
Here's the 70s that might as well be the president. And here's the 80s that might as well be the present.
Yeah, exactly. So now they're finally doing something fun with the time travel conceit. So I'm looking forward to next episode more than like any other episode of the series so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. That's exciting. I more want to see them go further in the past. That's what I more want to see from them. But, like we've heard Jonah Hex is supposed to be in the season. I really want to see that. I'm hoping they don't like cheap it out and we find out like Kronos is Jonah Hex or something stupid like that. Jonah Hex is in it, but we don't go back to that time period.
Jonah Hex is Zoom.
Yeah. He's obsessed with speed now. The mask makes sense. He's covering up that hideous face.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the mask makes sense. Yeah, I want to get there too, but I really love like these crazy versions of the future.
Yeah.
And so this looks like insane already.
Definitely. I'm looking forward to that. It's just I wish they had put as much attention into these earlier episodes of Legends of Tomorrow as they did into like Earth 2 with the Flash.
Yeah, definitely.
Like really selling the differences, which they haven't really done. Even the future, like it just looks like a devastated. So like nothing really looks too different except for things being devastated, at least so far. Hopefully that changes next episode.
Yeah, hopefully that changes next episode. Hopefully
all
this
sorts
is
of like crazy drones flying through the sky and
because
like
this show, admittedly, like so far, this show has not been anything special, and
yeah,
that's
it has not.
disappointing. When the premise has so much potential, so hopefully this is the beginning of the show starting to hit its stride.
Definitely, I hope that is the case. And then I hope we immediately go from the future into the past with the next episode to a much further past. So that would be really
Take
cool.
you back to the past.
They're gonna take it back to the past, and then like Vandal Savage is still gonna know all of them somehow just because of bad writing.
Yeah, I know, right?
It'll be like continuity of Vandal Savage's consciousness from like the 80s, but we're seeing him in the like the 1880s.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like, oh, I know you. Well, we know no matter what time period they go to, Vandal Savage is going to know two people. He's going to know Rip Hunter, and he's going to know Kendra just because he can sense her aura and know who she is.
And he's going to know Ray Palmer because he can spot a Boy Scout a mile away.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to see what happens with that, but I have high hopes that it's going to improve from here. I'm just glad they're out of the 70s and 80s into something a little bit more extreme in a time change, you know? I'm hoping that they keep that up.
Yeah, I'm hoping they keep that up too, because there's so much they can do.
So apparently in the next episode, we're going to find out who this other Arrow is, what happened to Oliver.
Well, I hope so.
What happened to the city, why it's Smoke Industries now, all that kind of stuff. And like I said, they seem to... I want to watch the preview again so I can get it, but it looked like Deathstroke was in some way involved in the episode. And so that would be super cool. I have no idea if they brought back Manu Bennett. They could just have him in costume or like make reference to him for all we know. But I saw something where they said Deathstroke, and I saw a guy in like a costume or something, and I was like, Deathstroke, yes, that'd be so awesome. But we'll have to wait and find out. If they do it, I hope they do have Manu Bennett for it, because he's awesome.
Yeah, they'd have to have Manu Bennett. I can't imagine them doing Deathstroke and having it be another actor. That won't work.
Yeah,
I'd be like, no.
You need the Manu Bennett. You need the Manu. You need the Manu.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty much it for Legends Tomorrow, right?
I think so, unless you have something else to add.
No, I think I pretty much said what I feel on that, which is just that I want them to go into more extremes, you know, more like extremes as far as the past and the future, and not like this, you know, 1970s that might as well be modern.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Next episode is one I'm actually legit excited for. These past handful of episodes have been at best. So yeah, hopefully next week the show blows us away. But moving on, we're going to talk about Agent Carter. The first half, like, they aired 2 episodes this week, but we're only going to talk about one of those, and that's Life of the Party. Basically, what happened to this episode was, somebody returns back into the story. Dotty Underwood returns in this episode because Peggy Carter needs to get into the party being held by this council, because she needs to get Whitney Frost's sample of his blood, because that has the zero matter in it, and she needs it because her scientist friend Jason, you know, he is becoming corporeal, and they found out that when he comes into contact with zero matter, he becomes solid again, and they need him to be solid so that they can contain him while they work on a way to cure him, because he is in danger of literally fading out of existence.
Phasing out of our existence, at least.
At least, yeah.
But yeah, Agent Carter continues to be what it has been all season long, which is really good stuff. But it just doesn't blow us away it did last season just because we've already been here, you know? It's,
right.
Second seasons rarely kind of, if a first season blows you away, the second season rarely will blow you away as much.
That's
because
true,
there's less room to grow and, they've already established the area.
I will say that this show has been very consistent.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it definitely has.
Yeah. There hasn't been like any drop in quality so far in the season, or at least anything noticeable. And I like this episode because there's a lot of things coming together. Having Whitney Frost was terrifying this episode. Like what she did to like half of the council, including her husband and her husband. Yeah, she just like swallows these people alive with her freaky zero matter powers.
And Ray Wise was great following that up with, I'm really looking forward to working with you. I'm really excited for this opportunity.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, that actor is amazing.
Leland Palmer.
Leland Palmer.
Anytime they bring somebody from Twin Peaks onto some other show, we seem to be kind of excited, whether it was Kyle MacLachlan and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Ray Wise and Agent Carter.
Yep. Yeah, that was inspired casting. So anyway, they brought back, so they decided they have to get in here into this party, but they can't because they already know who Peggy Carter is now. She's kind of given herself up.
Plus, she's been impaled.
So she is both. She is impaired in that her identity has been compromised, and she's double impaired, and she's physically impaired. So she is not up to task. They literally don't know anybody else that can do this. Like literally, it's like they go through the options. They're like, well, the only other person we can trust isn't around. We can't send a civilian in there because they're not trained. And SSR agent is out of the question because they can't trust the SSR. So they resort to busting out Dotty Underwood to help them in this, which is like really desperate because Dotty Underwood is definitely not somebody you can trust at all.
Season 1's villain.
Yep, season 1's like main villain. Like they're so desperate they turn to her. And so she goes into this party with Jarvis to get a sample of Whitney Frost's blood so that they can inject Jason with the zero matter, which is the mission. While they're there, though, the head of the SSR, Jack Thompson, shows up. And, what's been going on with Jack Thompson is Jack Thompson has been being courted by this guy, the head of the FBI.
By Red Foreman.
Yep, Vernon Masters, who is part of this, or in cahoots with this cabal, this council of like the most influential people in America, apparently, and you know he's trying to get Jack Thompson. He's trying to get Jack Thompson to be part of this group because Jack Thompson is the head of the SSR, which is quickly becoming one of the most important intelligence agencies in the U.S. apparently, and so they want influence over the SSR. That's why they're doing this. and that's why they're doing this to Jack Thompson, and he's kind of being an idiot going along with it.
He might be being an idiot going along with it. There's been kind of like a weird, the way they're portraying him is very strange this season.
It is.
It seems like he's foolish and he's just kind of going along, but he also seems to be questioning it, but he's not like openly questioning it, which leaves like room to think like, is he kind of playing a long con on these guys himself?
Oh, yeah, it might be.
Like, does he know something's up and he's trying to take them down, but he has to kind of be on the inside to do that, So we don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, that's true. We don't really know what's going on with this.
I think earlier in this season, we were given kind of a clue that there was more to his situation than him just being misogynistic and stupid. When he was kind of disagreeing with Peggy and everybody, but then he kind of secretly watched the footage himself and had a reaction to it, which he realized kind of everything they were saying was true, but then he never expressed that outwardly to anyone. So it kind of implies like he's holding certain things close to his chest. So I think we're going to end up having some kind of a long con thing going on. Like he's actually on Peggy's side this whole time, but he just been kind of, undercover basically. And he can't blow it by saying it to her, by supporting her. He has to kind of act the part of being the jerk ass boss that gets in her way,
Yeah, I think you're right, actually. That's very interesting way to look at it, and I admit that I hadn't thought of that yet. But yeah, that might be actually what's going on with that. So yeah, that's interesting. So basically, Jack Thompson is there. He recognizes Jarvis. Well, Jarvis kind of distracts him because by making it known that he's there, and and Jack Thompson very correctly assumes that if Jarvis is there, then Peggy is involved, and so he goes to check the perimeter. What happens is Dotty Underwood actually ends up in the conference room when Whitney Frost is killing like all these people with her freaky powers, and Dottie Underwood witnesses it. Then she tries to escape. She takes down a couple guards, but Dottie Underwood gets captured. She ends up getting captured by Jack Thompson, I think. Or was it? But in the end, we show Dottie in the possession of Whitney Frost, like at the very end.
Oh, you mean the other way around? Whitney Frost in possession of Dottie.
No. Nope.
Okay. I'm trying to. You're one episode behind where I'm at, so I'm like trying to draw the line on what's coming up and what's not.
No, it's Whitney Frost has Dottie in her possession.
Yeah,
that's where it ends. Okay, you confused me there when you said Dottie and Whitney, or Whitney and Dottie's possession. I'm like, okay, no, I get what you're saying. Okay, never mind. You like you really threw me for a loop there. I was like, no,
I just messed your head right there.
No, you messed my head. No, I get what you were saying. That Dottie is purposefully captured. Mm-hmm. That's a basic thing. We also got like a little bit of like the romantic tension between Peggy Carter and blah blah blah. What's his name there? The other SSR.
Cripple McCripplestein?
Cripple McCripplestein, yeah. Where they almost kiss, but then Dottie knocks one of the security guys onto their van, crippling all their communications equipment, by the way. Mm-hmm. And that messes up their romantic moment.
Yeah, we're continuing to have kind of relationship drama going on with Peggy and her interest in her scientist friend who's incorporeal right now, as well as her fellow SSR agent, and even a little bit with Jarvis and the kind of relationship between the other woman in these people's lives and how things are kind of connected. What's nice, though, is they're not overplaying the drama of that. They're not overplaying the romantic drama, like we know that the other SSR agent, his girl ended up kind of leaving him because she realized that, he's clearly in love with Peggy. But it wasn't like she went on a tirade and was all anti-Peggy and stuff. It was just that she realized she didn't want to be somebody's second choice.
Yeah,
she realized that, and it was like kind of heartbreaking for her, but it wasn't like, it didn't stir up some weird like drama between her and Peggy, which is good. That's what would happen on The Flash, or
Arrow. That's what would happen on Arrow. It would like totally be like totally Felicity, be like.
Yeah, and then you have like Jarvis and his wife, whereas she's not concerned about Jarvis like leaving her for Peggy so much as she is with the fact that Jarvis is becoming enamored in the lifestyle that Peggy leads. And by doing so, he's putting himself in danger, and that's what she's worried about.
And she's worried about that. Yeah, they get that scene where she like gets upset when they start talking about Jarvis and what he's going to be doing, and Jarvis comes in, and he starts talking about what he's going to be doing, and just makes her like really upset to the point where she loses her composure.
And it's done well because she's put up with a lot of his weird adventures with Peggy, like accepting that he's in danger, but it's like it's reached a certain point where like seeing Peggy be impaled and stuff is kind of like, she's like, okay, sometimes my worry has to show, like there's only so much I can hold back before it's like I'm getting a little too worried and nervous about the situation here. But they aren't playing up jealousy or like some love triangle, which again is nice, and it's not something we would expect on, one of the CW shows.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's cool to see that with Agent Carter not taking the low-hanging fruit. So yeah, I think all in all, it's been pretty good. The season as a whole. It's just, like I said, nothing's really blowing me away. It's just good. It's just good TV.
It's just good TV. It's not mind blowing or anything. It's solid.
Yeah.
It's a B for sure. Yep, definitely. All right. So that brings us to the end of this week's episode of TVE versus Marvel versus DC.
Well, we could talk a little bit about the Daredevil trailer.
That's right. The Daredevil trailer hit. The Punisher. Hello.
Half measures. So clearly the Punisher is Mike from Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
I knew it.
Oh, it's like you're just one bad day away from becoming me.
That's so good. They focused like entirely on the Punisher.
Yeah, there was like a little bit of Elektra at the end. But yeah, it was focused all entirely on the Punisher. Looks amazing. I just know this Punisher looks to be one of the most faithful renditions of the Punisher I've ever seen. John Bernthal looks like he is killing it in this role. March 18th can't come soon enough.
Yeah, super excited for the Punisher. In addition to that, I think we got one picture from Luke Cage that was like a promotion shot.
Oh, okay.
So they're like on that early side of promoting Luke Cage. Kind of like, remember when they started promoting Jessica Jones and they just had a picture of her and that's all it was?
Yep.
So we're like at that stage on Luke Cage promotion. So hopefully around the time Daredevil season 2 comes out, we'll probably see a little bit more of Luke Cage as well, which is exciting. And around then, I'd imagine we're going to start hearing a bit about casting choices and stuff going on with Iron Fist, which I'm kind of hoping there's tie-ins to in Luke Cage's series. Because Iron Fist and Luke Cage are such a bromance couple, in the comics.
It's such a bromance couple. Yep.
But I really hope that they have Iron Fist make an appearance.
Yeah, I really hope
Luke Cage, in the way Luke Cage made an appearance in Jessica Jones.
I don't know if that will happen, but that'd be really cool to get it.
Yeah.
All right. So that brings us to an end to this episode of Marvel versus DC versus TVE. I was your host, Will Rohrig. Joining me this evening was Tyson Gifford. Tyson, do you have anything you want to plug for this week?
This week, look forward to the spring preview for TV Enthusiast. We're going to be talking. I'm going to be putting up an article that's going to have kind of all the shows that are of somewhat of an interest to us at TV Enthusiast. So, I mean, we're not going to be putting in a bunch of like sitcoms and reality shows. It's going to be kind of the stuff that you'd expect us to talk about, stuff like Game of Thrones and Silicon Valley and Daredevil that we just talked about. But yeah, I'm going to put up the full spring preview. That's all shows kind of premiering or returning between March and June. That's going to go up probably sometime tomorrow. And then later that week, we're going to be doing our podcast where we're going to go over kind of our top picks of that bunch. So, the podcast isn't going to have everything that's in the spring preview, and the spring preview isn't going to have everything that's coming to TV in spring. That's going to kind of slowly narrow down. But yeah, so this week is pretty much all about spring preview. So that's what's to look forward to this week.
Awesome. I don't have anything particular to plug this week, but like I said, join us this Thursday for the podcast, and we'll see you next Sunday for another edition, because all these shows are going to be back next week, and so that means we will be too. So look forward to that.
3 episodes of Carter.
3 episodes of Carter. I don't know if I can do that, but let's see. All right, have a good night. Bye.
Bye.